Because it's been like notated on, I'm talking about in every city across America, that the biggest and toughest guy has been tested with the jail or the judge and going to prison, and them dudes, a lot of them dudes folded. Absolutely. Everywhere. So a lot of these young guys out here and any people out of breaking law, they just always, like you said, they I'm a real guy, and then when they hit the fan, they tell him. We just had a situation here in our city. It was multiple indictments. Mm-hmm. A lot of these young boys, I don't know if it's going on in your city, but multiple indictments by just pure killing. No money really involved. These out here just killing each other. And now a lot of them is telling and so forth and so on. They in jail for not even trying to get no money, just killing.
See, that was the only difference in what I felt like my rage was about. I always felt like it was in a quest to get money, right? It had to be about us getting money, right? We're gonna sell drugs, we're gonna take drugs, whatever we're gonna do, but it's in the realm of getting money. Now, the senseless killing, I think, I almost don't even understand. You know, like, how could you even have a problem with this guy? You don't even know him.
To the point you want to kill him, though.
They said
right.
Instagram post
to the point you want him to die. You don't even know him. Y'all beefing over what? Facebook?
Yeah, it's an Instagram post to get your ghost.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Where's coming up when we was arguing over, drug areas, even that's wrong. Right? It's wrong. It was wrong.
For sure.
Right? Understand the mindset of, I'm gonna go against these guys because of this block. It's money. They're gonna go against us or whatever. And it was about something. Opposed to, we've been going back and forth on social media, and now
somebody dies.
Right.
I just can't wrap my mind around it.
It's senseless. I get it because that's more ego, right? That's more ego, that's more pride. And I understand. I'm a guy that understands because of the trolling that goes on social media. So I see it from every angle. But when you're young and you don't have the wherewithal to say, you know what, I'm gonna kill you with success. I'm gonna let you have your time, and I'm gonna do mine. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's something else though.
Yeah, and it's like, we in the area. I don't know how it is in New York, but here a lot of people use this phrase, the YNs.
Yeah, they do that everywhere. That's all over term now.
All right, so the YNs is now out here, like I said, just killing for no reason, so forth and so on. Do you ever see it stopping? Is it something you think is going to die down anytime soon?
Well, I think the violence. Well, I could actually say the violence in New York City is not the same violence that it used to be in the 90s. So it has decreased drastically. I'm not sure. I honestly think that the crack era, late crack era, going into the early 90s was a rougher time.
You think so? In this pill era? I
don't know.
If you sit back and give it a couple of thoughts, man.
I don't know. I know in New York it was. So, but it's easy. Like, if we could look up the numbers, like if you look up the numbers in Philly and see what it looked like in 90, as far as the murders and stuff like that, compared to the murders now, it might be different. But you gotta remember, like in New York, it was less police, it's no cameras.
Same way.
So a lot of the deterrent that's out now wasn't there. So we literally coming outside with shit in broad daylight and never had to worry about cameras and stuff like that. So that's where you had a higher murder rate and more violence in that area. So I know that's in New York, but you should look it up though. You ever like looked and seen? And
I gotta look into it and see, because my opinion, I would think that the crack era hit harder.
Harder, right?
Yeah, I would think it hit harder because
this is what I'm thinking.
That crack, when it hit, that joint was breaking up families.
It broke the families. all the way down. Every family on the block was
mothers was abandoning their kids.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they doing that right now like that.
No, this is the first time we seen like real legitimate zombies, right? Remember coming outside? That's what I'm saying. Crack, it didn't matter where you was from. It don't matter that y'all from Philly, I'm from Brooklyn. We got the same experiences, right? You come out your house, they literally like zombies outside, right? And then you got the dealers, the robbers, everything was going on at the same time, right? So I think the violence was a lot more intense.
Especially now too, because I mean, a lot of the kids is in the house now on their device. Ain't nobody really outside.
They come out at night to go get their little get high, their little fix.
Yeah, but listen, back in the 80s, people was outside on the corners.
This is what I was saying.
So we like you outside.
Everybody was outside.
Yeah, so
crowded. Everybody was outside.
It's bound for something to happen
because we had no reason to be inside. We didn't have the devices that we got today. We didn't have the distractions that we got today.
Yeah.
And also remember, everything wasn't accessible to us. So if I was in Brooklyn, in my neighborhood, that's all I knew. I couldn't have a peek of what's going on in Philly. I couldn't pick up this device and go and say, damn, what's going on in Philly? Damn, they wilding out there. Like, there's no way. So all you knew is your neighborhood, your block, and what was going on in there.
Let me ask you this question, man. This is a question that's been going around, social media. You probably heard it before too. And everything that you've been through thus far in life, prison, the criminal activity that lands you where you are at today, it seems like you got a sounder mind to think and, be productive with your life.
Yeah.
But with this motto that everybody is saying, fuck the streets. How you feel about that? What would your answer
So somebody
be?
asked me that. I was just trying to understand exactly, because before I don't like to give up exactly what it meant. I think in theory, and I can't say because I'm not the person who said it, right? But in theory, I think that the meaning was fuck the streets and the mentality of holding on to some of this shit that ain't getting us nowhere, right? Fuck this mentality that this street shit means something. You know what I mean? We gotta let it go. Like we aging out of this shit, right? Like if we made it to 21, nigga, like we already on our way. Right? Because how many times they told us we wasn't gonna make that?
1,000.
We ain't never think we would.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that was kind of like what the thought pattern was. I think it was like fuck the streets in that form away, because the trauma of the streets and what it does to us and what it does to the idea of what's important. I think that's what it was.
I just checked up. I looked into what you said. It said it's a homicide rates in 2025 and projected for 2026 are vastly lower than the peak of the crack cocaine epidemic, roughly from 1989 to 1992.
So I told you, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was a rougher time. This is what I'm saying. In every city, every city in America. So if we understand that now, then that would means that we grew up in a rougher time, and that the kids now they growing up in a less harsher time.
Right.
Even though they doing shit.
But I don't know, man. That shit seem like they crazy.
I know.
And the same thing going on in New
But the
York,
older
they
niggas was saying.
firing their ass up.
But guess what though? The older niggas was saying that about y'all.
They was, because they
They were saying about us.
Yeah.
The older niggas, the generation that was already, in their 30s was looking down like, yo, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah, because they would fight. And have a knife maybe, or gun once. They wasn't.
No, these young niggas ain't doing no fighting.
No, I'm saying, but
we was grabbing the grips too.
Yeah, we was grabbing guns.
We was picking up shit that we wasn't supposed to be having.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of the same cycle.
And then once you mix, once drugs is involved.
Drugs made it worse.
Yeah. People not even thinking, really.
Just doing.
Like, because it's just like the drugs just take over your mind. It's just like, so people was, and then ultimately the bravado of a drug dealer, now I'm getting money. I'm getting this money, so now I got to protect this.
You got to protect it. But the technology that they have today, they didn't have then. So it was easier for, extreme violence to happen, right? know, like I said, there was no cameras. You didn't have to worry about that. Everywhere you step out, as soon as you step out your house, everybody got a Ring camera. You go through the tolls, it's cameras. You know, you pull up.
Street lights.
Street lights, the store, the restaurant.
From one part of the city to the next.
They will, listen, they will back them cameras up. If you drove to New York, they will back that shit all the way up to Philly. If they need to do that.
We just saw something like that here in Philly where some dudes committed a homicide and they rolled like, I don't know, 10, 20 blocks or so. And they followed them from where it happened. Oh, and then
that's
all through the cameras, throughout the
cameras. So that's kind of like a deterrent in a way. Whereas when we was coming, there was no deterrent. It was just free reign.